streaming. And then if we go to that one, then let's check. Let's see what the internet's doing. The good old technology. Let's see if we're live. Surely we're live. Yeah, okay. It says live take 2. Now I think we're on now. Hopefully that's a bit better. And hopefully everyone will come around and come say g'day. I don't know how to let everyone know that we're live, but that's all right. We'll continue to have a chat. We'll put on a beautiful show. Tom Nelson, if you can somehow see this or anything, we'd love to get you on. Love for you to have a chat and a laugh and whatnot. For everyone that has gone over, for some reason, when I do Zoom and VPNs, it just doesn't work. I need to do Facebook calls. And then for context, Derek was very embarrassed that we weren't friends on Facebook, but he claims to be my arm wrestling friend, so he wasn't my social media friend. So we're back on board now, and we've got this absolute giant of a man, which is good. People are starting to come back in. We really do apologise. If anything was choppy in the first video or questions that you want to get a hold. Daniel Uric, I don't know how to mod you in so you can share links. I don't know how to mod.
I think you just click on his name. Well, on the phone, you click on his name that says add moderator, but I don't know how it works on the PC.
Add moderator. There you go. I just did that, Daniel. Oh, now you've disappeared. There we go. Let's get back into it. As he gets on the vape, blows smoke in everyone's face. We are back into it, guys. As we were talking a bit earlier on, do apologise. Here in Australia, it just doesn't work out for me sometimes with technology. I usually call it the Mike Aiello effect. Fun fact, my second ever podcast was with Mike Aiello and it didn't record. So that was a really good start into the arm wrestling world. Mike was fantastic about it. We had great fun shooting around and then nothing happened. So as we're finishing up, I was just letting everyone know that John Brzenk is not pulling in top 8. He's had enough. He says it's too inconsistent and things like that. Derek, what are your thoughts, first of all, of John not pulling and all the chopping and changing with the top 8? What are your thoughts on all that?
I mean, you gotta, it's understandable, right? With all the COVID and everything getting shut down and all the drama between WAF and PAL, it's understandable that things would get moved around and are inconsistent. But, I mean, I obviously understand John's perspective. I mean, if he doesn't know when and where he's going to compete or who with all the time and stuff and things are getting moved around, how are you going to stay prepped for that and training hard for that? So I'm just happy that John is liking arm wrestling. I think Ryan was talking about it last night. I'm just happy that he's back in the game, at whatever level he wants to be, and that he's around. I mean, not having John present in the sport sucks, right? So just him being involved is great. Obviously, we'd all like to see him compete, but he's going to continue to compete, whether it's here in the States or international. I'm sure at some point he will, again, if he just stays in it. So, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it, but hopefully, we'll get to see him. He'll travel. I'm sure he'll just get in better shape and travel.
Oh, he wants more matches for sure. So then, who does John pull next then? Go into your crystal ball, Derek. Who's he going to pull next? Who should
Alexi
he pull?
Vovoda. Alexi Vovoda comes back, and him and John have the ultimate matchup.
Oh, whenever I picture John Brzenk and Alex Vovoda, coming back, I am just picturing Rocky IV. I just feel like, it's 20 years later, and they're all meeting up again, and it's the two kids fighting. I think that's I think that's how it's going to go. I hope he does. I hope Alexi's, because I think he's banned from the Winter Olympics, so I think he's gone or he's done his time. So with bobsledding, so hopefully he comes back and absolutely, John versus Alexi, that'll be unreal.
Well, I know Devin wants a piece of John too. Not right now, because obviously Devin's chasing Levon. But at some point, did you see the look in Devin's eye when John was kind of announced to be coming back? Devin wants John. He wants to pull him. He wants John to be heavy, and he wants he wants to take that last win back for sure.
course, and that's what I love about Devon. Devon wants to pull anyone and everyone. He wants to just tick off every single giant there is, and I love it. And he's perfect for the sport of arm wrestling. I'm glad Devon's the face of arm wrestling for all of us. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, I want to talk about a bit of context. For those that don't know, Derek has actually pulled in WAL on a pre-show, the 504 pre-show. Everyone knows I'm a huge fan of the WAL and want to be sitting in the chair next to Neil Pickup, calling the action. But, what did you find the WAL format? What did you think of the atmosphere, the match itself? It didn't really go the way you wanted it to. But yeah, tell everyone about this.
It was like, so being on that side of it, I've done some of the WAL tournaments. Like they had regionals and stuff in the past out here. And so I've been in some of the productions, especially when it first started. It's a lot different now than when it first started. But to be actual part of it, to be a poller, even in the pre-show, it was crazy, man. It's like a production. There's definitely arm wrestling in it, but when you get there early and they're like, you're talking to, the people that run the show, like the producers, and they're taking you back, they're miking you up, they're showing you like how you're going to walk. Okay, there'll be a camera in front of you here, then you're going to turn right, take 3 steps here, pause, you'll do some kind of scream, then you take 2 steps to the right. Like it's all mapped out, like as if you're shooting like a TV show. And that was cool. That was like, you feel all fancy, know? And so then there's ring girls and all types of crazy stuff going on and people calling your name. And then I was lucky enough, it was in Southern California. So my team was there cheering for me. So I had a sizable cheering section when I came out, and all my boys were in the corner and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, Bart Wood was not there. So apparently they're supposed to get a hold of you guys and go over the rule sets and everything beforehand. But Bart's plane was delayed. So he wasn't able to go over the rules with me and Tony. And there was some stuff I didn't understand going into the match, which was annoying. And so it didn't play to my favor. But it happened. So I ended up losing. For those of you guys who are watching, it was a right-handed super match with Tony Tomlinson, and I ended up losing. It was a best of 3.
Best of 3.
It was a best of 3, and I lost 2-1.
Yeah.
I was just in the video. You see me being real confused about elbow fouls and things like that, like not understanding what's going on, and because I didn't know in the WL doesn't go by the tip of your elbow; they go by like the surrounding circumference, like the surrounding few inches. And so I've pulled Tony a bunch of times leading up to that. Like a week or 2 before that, we had a tournament and I beat him twice right-handed, and I felt comfortable. I was like, all right, this should not be a problem. And because my arm's so long, like traditionally, Tony would have to go off the back of the pad to separate me. And so I'm like, cool, we'll have this match, it'll be good. And in the WL match, I'm watching the tip of Tony's elbow, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, there he goes, and he goes off the back of the pad, and I'm like. And then he continues to pin me, and I can't stop him once it goes that low. And I'm like looking at Bart, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? Because I didn't know that rule. And so I'm thinking tip of the elbow. I'm like, are you guys blind? Like, what is going on right now? I'm like losing my mind. And then like the next round, we switch sides, and then Bart, the down refs see Tony's elbow. He fouls 3 times. They call the elbow fouls on him. He fouls 3 times. Then we go back to Bart looking at Tony's elbow, and I still don't know this rule. And once again, he goes off the back of the pad and pins me, and I'm just like losing my mind right now. I'm not understanding what's going on. And then afterwards, WL comes up to me and they get a hold of me, and they're like, oh yeah, we don't do tip of the elbow, we do the surrounding area. And I was just like, oh, I should have just. And so all credit to Tony. Within their rules, he beat me. That's what happened. To me though, I was in that moment, I was just like, what is going on? Yeah. So since then, me and Tony pulled. We've done 2 matches and stuff since then. I had the last winning record on him right-handed. But yeah, that was I lost the debut one. I didn't know what was going on. So, but either way, the atmosphere. If you guys ever do go to a WL event, the atmosphere is amazing. It's really electric. Tons of screaming and stuff like that. It's great. A great time for sure.
Just watching it looks unreal, and I was I just wanted to rewatch the WAL matchup that you had, because I remember it from just watching videos. And yeah, the third match, you got caught, and he's close to the pin pad, and then all of a sudden Bart's hands go on top and call Tony, and yeah. And because you're like camera side from the view that I was watching your camera side, you were, and you're not one to really argue and things like that. Like you're the first one to put up, man, you beat me and things like that. But the genuine, like look around, you're like, wait, what? No. And you're pointing and things like that. But you're like, hang on, but but this and this and this and what's going on? And it was like, oh man.
And I didn't want to be a baby about it, No. I snap out of it like right away, and I go shake Tony's hand, give him a hug. I just like was really confused on it at first, and it all got clarified later. But I was just like at the moment. And honestly, like I probably would have switched up my approach in regards to like my style of pulling with Tony had I known that. Because like I kind of banked on the fact that he can only go so far to the back of the pad and I'll still be in the match. But if he keeps going, I can't stay in the match because he keeps going backwards and I can't chase him. And so I probably would have went to the straps. I probably would have posted more. I probably would have done other things than try to just sink in a hook had I known that. But it's like I said, nothing taking away nothing from Tony in that win. He definitely beat me within the rules. No problem at all. I just wasn't ready for it.
And we've got a bit going on in the chat at the moment. We've got a bit of bromance. Jamie Sheldon, he's been in the chat. We'll talk about him very soon. I'm a big fan of Jamie Smith. Coach Ray says, "What's up, Derek?" Says Aussie arm wrestler never sleeps or never goes offline. Nah, well, I'm at the stage where I'm in lockdown, so yeah.
Stay strong. Love arm wrestling.
That's right. I've got a $10 super chat from Stacey Morgan. Wow, look at that green screen and a super chat button. Well done, mate. This isn't a green screen. This isn't a green screen. I'll move it. It's my new banner, and on the other side, it's one massive logo. So, Stacey, I know you've been big on me getting a bit of a green screen in the background. No, I went out and made a banner because I want to have matches and tournaments and things like that, and I want the Aussie arm wrestler symbol happening when, and we're not going to say ready go, we're going to say ready bang when we have matches with this in the background. That is the way it's going to go. The ref
will say ready bang?
What's that?
The referee will say ready bang in your matches here?
That's right. That's right. It is big. It is the number one catchphrase in arm wrestling. Guys, if you've got any questions for Derek, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to keep chatting. Now, this beautiful bromance with Jamie Sheldon. It's fantastic. When I interviewed Jamie on the show, he nominated you to come on, and it took me way too long, and I've got a couple of reasons why, but it took way too long to get you on. But where did this bromance start? And then we'll get into Jamie's super match, which would be in a few hours or so.
Jamie raised me from a pup. Basically, like I somehow barely clawed my way into the sport, found an event, and at my very first time competing, Jamie was one of the first people I met. And I asked people, who's a local guy? I want to start training these arm wrestling things. People pointed at the guy with the shaved head, and I was like, okay, hi, I'm Derek Smith. And we got numbers, and then Jamie came and picked me up. I remember in his old Silverado truck, and he would drive me to practices. And he was like, there's videos of my first practices ever at Jamie's house in the garage, him in the background teaching me like how to grip and everything. So Jamie definitely showed me the ropes in the sport. And since then, he's been one of my best friends in the sport for sure. Obviously, he runs NatFit, and I'm sponsored by NatFit. You guys, natfitnation.com, AW Derek discount code, save 10%. Anyway, so Jamie's always been my boy. Anytime there's an opportunity or any way that he can hook me up or help me out, he's always taking care of me. I have nothing but great things to say about Jamie Sheldon. Definitely a mentor of mine in the sport and a really good friend for sure. So
absolutely. And if you head over to NatFit, two things you can do. Put in, what is it, AW Derek?
AWDREK and natfitnation.com, and you save 10%.
And if you put in the code at NatFit, Aussie Arm Wrestler, you'll receive a 0% discount. But just go support NatFit because he is doing fantastic things. Now the big Jamie, that big lightsaber carrying Baby Yoda looking superstar, has got a super match going with Artem Tarenko. He, for those that don't know, he runs Top Roll Kings production. Funny dude, I quite like him. They have a super match, not like this weekend, wherever you are in the world. It'll be happening very, very soon. What are your thoughts? What are your tips, Derek?
Well, obviously, I mean, I have to go with Jamie. I know Artem's probably. I imagine Artem's going to want the straps. He likes to do this whole high posting thing in the straps and manipulate the hand. Artem is very strong, and I think he's been coming up big time. He's been making big waves and beating top guys, left-handed especially. But Jamie doesn't even have a left hand. Yeah. Jamie doesn't even hold a beer with a left hand. It's beyond. It's below holding a beer with a left hand. It's like it might as well just dangle next to him. But so right-handed arm wrestling, though, I mean, I got to think that especially at 200 pounds. Jamie is thick. I was just at his house the other day. His hand is like a baseball, and he's ready to fire off. So, and also, I mean, Jamie, people always consider Jamie like a really hardcore outside puller, but Jamie has a hook, and he's beaten some top guys in a hook for sure. And he's not afraid, even if that wrist cracks lately in the last few years, he's been okay pulling with his wrist crack back a little bit. So he's getting definitely more versatile, and I think he's going to really show it in this match. And so I'm definitely pulling for Jamie, and I think Jamie takes it just with speed and experience.
Mate,
right?
Any man that orders pizza and makes his wife run home after ordering pizza is one tough guy. Jamie posted this hilarious video. They ordered pizza and his wife wanted to burn some calories before they ate it, so she was running in the car next to him. But I think Jamie takes it as well. Artem's making gains, but then Jamie's putting on weight. Jamie likes to be at a lot of weight, and the fact that he's getting bigger and knows how to do it properly. You don't run a supplement company if you don't know a thing or two about body science. So I do think, no disrespect to Artem, I know he doesn't care, but I think Jamie takes this one, and it's going to be an absolute ripper. You can watch that match live on Artem's channel. Anyone that wants to watch it, I've got to just work out the times, and I might set the alarm and watch it live on my phone. Might just sit in bed and see how we go. Now, before I've got 2 super chats. One from Ryan Man. Thank you, Ryan Man. It says, Derek, do you think Kadech's hand presents your biggest threat? Your top end probably covers all 3.
No. In regards to Alex, I don't think that. I think his biggest weakness is his hand and his high ability. A lot of times, Alex tends to dump a little bit, probably because his arm length, and tall guys are used to dumping a lot to try to get their arm vertical, so they'll dump their wrist a lot. But a lot of his matches, he tends to dump and pull backwards in the straps. Really good against inside pullers that try to sink in a hook. But you see matches against him versus like Trubin and people that really went knuckles up and controlled the top. That was kind of where there was some fault. So. In regards to Alex, right-handed, I top roll or hook. Lately, I've been hooking, but I top roll for the first 7 years, so I can kind of do both. The decision is whether or not I want to chase Alex in, like Rustam and all them try to chase him in, which didn't pan out too well for them, but I'm a lot longer, and I do have a lot bigger hand than them, or go high and try to control the top, right? It's kind of the deciding where I'm at, and trying to crack that code in my head. But his hand, I don't think that's the scariest part of Alex.
How tall is Alex?
I think he's 6'7". I think he's 1 inch shorter than me.
What a tiny man, hey?
Yeah, right.
Tiny. I can't believe you're competing against these small people. Once you win a round, can you just lean over the table and pull his ponytail back? Can you just yank his hair and just let him know I'm 6'8", bitch?
No, Alex is actually, it's funny, in the private chat, the group chat with all 4 of us and Neil, Chance and Ryan have been going at it, right? They're talking serious shit to each other, and me and Alex, I'll just be like, Chance will lay out this long thing about Brian Espy is, irrelevant and you're weak and you're gonna get crushed, and then I'll just be like, hey Alex, I have a lot of respect for you. Good luck. And because Alex is a great dude too, he's a super nice guy, and so we just kind of go back and forth a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I like that he was into the gym lifts. He was asking me about my gym maxes and stuff, and I'm pretty open about that stuff. So I was sending him videos of me lifting and stuff about the lifts he was asking about.
And that is one thing I absolutely love whenever I watch a bit of Derek Smith. Don't worry, Michael. I will get to your super chat in a minute. The one thing I do enjoy is that pure honesty. And I know the one topic you are sick and tired of talking about is steroids in the sport. And I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to say you have told everyone that you, if need be, to become the best arm wrestler, and that's your goal, if need be, because the sport allows it, you will experiment in that if you have to. So I think, and I don't care if you do or you don't. I mean, for the record, I haven't taken a thing in my life. I want to flex, but I don't want to rip my shirt. So I'll say flexing for another time. But yeah, I think I love that. I love that honesty. I think it's unreal that you have done that. You're open about that.
I always preface that with anybody listening. This is in no way to encourage you to take anything. This is me and my 11 years in, and my goals and my plans and how much I put into it, and tattooed it on my body, and how how committed I am to becoming number one. Like this is different. We're not all the same on this trek, right? And so just where I'm at in my life right now, like I'm this far in, guys. Like I have to go all in. You know what I mean? Like I'm not afraid of going all in. I'm not gonna quit now. Like now, all this work I've done,
right when the sport's peaking.
Yeah, no way. So like if that's what has to happen, that's what has to happen. But people always like want to ask all these direct questions. What are you on stuff right now and all that? And it's like not just myself, but anybody. Hypothetically, right, if they were taking things, you guys are asking that, it wouldn't make sense for them to incriminate themselves, right? There's a thing about being open in terms of like your approach to it, but at the same time, there's another thing about like sponsorships and Olympics and laws and things like that. So you guys got to use some common sense in regards to asking questions like that, guys.
Yeah, and it just seems to be the number one topic. But we've got Michael Edwards, $4.99 super chat. He says Derek Smith, the Piranha. Going to Ham tomorrow at Texas North Regional Qualifier. Last one before states in October 2. Ready bang! Michael Edwards, you big ledge.
He's great. Michael Edwards is one of my the Discord guys that hangs out with me. So you guys, I'm always on Discord. You guys ever want to get in there and hang out and chat with me? We chat all the time. Michael is a hardcore Discord guy, and so is Xavier, or I forget his name on
Lloyd Christmas.
What's that?
Lloyd Christmas.
Yeah, Lloyd Christmas. Yeah. Sorry, I forget his YouTube name. But we're all in there, and we chat a lot. So Michael Edwards has a big tournament this weekend. He's going to face another one of our Discord guys. This is the first time two of our Discord guys really met up at a tournament, and I told them you get a week moderator position. Whoever wins gets to be a moderator for a week in the Discord. So Michael's going at it. I nicknamed Mike the Piranha because he's small and fierce. He's like 5'1", or maybe 5 foot even. But best of luck to those guys, and we have a lot of fun in the Discord if anybody wants to join us.
Yeah, nice. So, guys, Discord's just another one of the things. Derek's quite fond in the technology world. He likes to run the Reddit arm wrestling subreddit going on there, mate. Reddit's just a whole different world. I can't believe how many police are on Reddit, and Reddit hates YouTube. Was one thing that I have noticed. Like, I'll try and share a couple of things, just see if I can get some more fans over to the arm wrestling world. And, mate, the Reddit police are out, especially if you don't post in the right subreddit. They attack you like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. The Reddit thing was awesome, and it was a pure stroke of luck that I even ended up becoming the admin moderator of Reddit. Just a buddy of mine from high school who was not an arm wrestler at all. I was like in the sport for like 2 years, and I was telling him about it, and he's like, "Man, that seems so cool." And he was hardcore on Reddit for other things, and just randomly, he's like, "Let me make this subreddit arm wrestling." He's made it years ago, and one day, like 4 or 5 years later, he goes, "Hey, I made this subreddit. Do you kind of want it?" And I was like, "What?" And he showed it to me, and there was like 3,000 members there, and I was like, "I'll take it. I'll be the moderator of this," because he's not even an arm wrestler. He was just a buddy of mine from high school. And so I took it over, and then since then we've like doubled or tripled in size, and it's pretty big. We're almost at like 7,000 members, I think, in there. So it's one of the bigger communities in arm wrestling for sure. It's a little different because it's not has as many hardcore arm wrestlers. It's mostly like fans and newer guys getting into the sport are mostly in Reddit, and same thing on Discord. It's a lot of newer guys, which I like. So the niche I ended up fitting in a lot in this sport is me with new guys and teaching new people about arm wrestling and spreading the word, which I love. Like, that's my passion anyway. I'm just trying to get this thing out there. So if I can help those guys out, then great.
Oh, mate, the Reddit and Discord, anytime you're on a live, it's Discord. Everyone jumps in and say, "Hey, I've come over from Discord." But if you are on Discord and you haven't subscribed to either one of these channels, you're not really an arm wrestling fan. Go over and punch and absolutely pin the subscribe button on both channels. But we'll go from new and we'll head back to the old. Derek Smith had a life before arm wrestling. And if this is true, I need to know a little bit more about it. You were a professional gamer.
Yeah. I was a college basketball player. First love ever was basketball, right? And so I have this tattoo on my arm. A lot of people ask about this. It says "Eine Liebe." It's German because my family is German. But it means one love in German. So it's I'm very passionate. Like, I get one passion at a time. So first was basketball, hardcore into it for like 3 years. Did really good. Went and played college basketball for a year. Stopped playing basketball, and that summer I picked up an Xbox, and I was bored at home, and just kind of fell in love with a game called Halo, and started playing it a lot. Someone said, "Hey, there's tournaments near you." I said, "What?" And so I traveled to a local tournament, saw this like professional video game team with jerseys, and they looked all cool, and they were fully sponsored, and I was like, "No way!" And so, obsessive ass Derek, I just full dive into video games at that point. And and then fast forward a couple years later, and I'm flying around every month to tournaments and all national tournaments. I never left the country, but every weekend I'm in New York, I'm in Philadelphia, I'm in Texas. Like, I'm just flying. And at one point, I was sponsored by Verizon. At one point, Red Bull, all different sponsorships, and just flying around the country playing video games. And that's what led me to arm wrestling. Because at a video game tournament is where I met Ethan Fritchie, and he arm wrestled me, and he beat me. Then I learned how to arm wrestle. So,
and then you just thought arm wrestling, you thing, even though you're doing pretty well in the professional gaming world.
I was on my way out. I was getting a little burnt out on it, and I'd been in there for like 5 years or 6 years, and I was just kind of, it wasn't producing a lot, and I didn't have the drive I once had, and like, I don't know, it was just kind of, I don't know, I was looking for something else. I was open to something else, and then arm wrestling kind of filled that void, and so I ended up leaving. But I was on like the #1 team in the world in Halo at one point, and I started the #1 team in Call of Duty in the world. I started the original 4, so I have definitely some big footprints I left on video games, but here I am for arm wrestling now.
Yeah, but sitting in a chair playing video games and you got burnt out.
Well, wait, at that level, dude, you have to play like a light day is 8 hours a day, up to like 16 hours a day, easy, of grinding and playing, and it's just like, it's a lot, man. It's your whole life, and that's when I stepped back and I was like, okay, I've been doing this for 6 years. What do I got? I have no money saved up. I have no work experience. I didn't go back to school. I'm like 25 or 26 or whatever I was at the time, and I'm like, dude, what? I have nothing to really show for this besides memories and friends and networks, right? And I was like, I gotta do something. And that's when I started working and like trying to get into, actually having a job. And then I had my daughter, and real life grabbed hold. And luckily, luckily I was able to pursue arm wrestling through all that, though.
Oh, mate, and it's fantastic, and I really appreciate when you post photos and things like that, showing love for your daughter, because sometimes we can all get a bit blindsided and get a bit locked into the arm wrestling world, and we can start like attacking each other and really getting stuck in, and the troll's going a bit too far. But then you just got to take a step back, everyone, and realise that people are just these arm wrestlers. They're just people, and they got families. And I'm sure, when your daughter gets a bit older and she enters more the social media thing, she doesn't want to be reading everyone, oh, Derek Smith, ridiculous, how dare he get in arm, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she doesn't need to read that. So I think that's pretty cool. And the trolls just need to, take a step back at the moment. Coach Ray was in the chat before, and he, in 2 weeks, has a big super match coming up with Froda Haugland. Both hands. I mean, left arm is the only arm in the sport of arm wrestling. Everyone just needs to build that up. But I am excited for this matchup. Who do you think takes this one out?
Oh, man. Obviously, I'm closer with Coach Ray. That's my buddy. I mean, I think I'm leaning with Ray on this one. I think that Frodo's been a little inactive in the big picture a little bit, and Ray's obviously been training and loving arm wrestling to the fullest extent. I think Ray coming with that shoulder, I think he has it. Especially Ray uses a riser or something like that, really gets behind his shoulder. He's a little short guy, but hopefully, I mean, I know I'm cheering for Ray, and I think Ray will take it. So that's where my faith lies in that match. But Froda is a war. He is not. It's not going to go lightly, and he does nothing but wars. So I think it will be a dogfight. But I'm thinking that by the time the dogfight happens, hopefully Ray will be in such a good position with his shoulder that he'll be using many muscles while Froda is using few muscles. Hopefully is the thing.
I think that's one thing when it comes to making predictions these days. I mean, 18 months ago, before the Aussie Arm Wrestlers started, it was easy. I could say, yep, this person's going to win because of A, B, and C. But now that the arm wrestling world has accepted me into it, now my feelings are getting involved, and I don't like it. So it's like, who's going to win Battleground between Derek, Ryan, Chance? And I'm like, well, Ryan was the first one to get me on. Ryan Espy asked me to come on his show when I was known. Derek Smith's been a huge supporter and always says something nice about me. And Chance has come on the show and he's a Patreon supporter. Then I'm like, I don't want to pick anyone. I don't want to pick anyone. They're all my friends.
This is how you say on paper who's the favorite, and that's how you preface it. You go, hey, there's people who I'm cheering for, and there's just like logically, if you're putting your money down on someone, who are you putting your money down You know what I mean? And we should be able to separate that too. I've I've actually predicted Chance to lose, I think, every match. And I was just playing video games with him 10 minutes ago. We're still buddies. I just know arm wrestling really well, and I see styles and stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, this is the gaps I see. I feel like that guy's going to fill that gap, so I think Chance is the underdog. And that doesn't mean I want Chance to lose. I'm just saying this is the way I see the match going. So
I'm the same. I'm the same as you. I think with the coach Ray Froda match, I think because not much is happening in Norway. I think that it can be deflating and things like that. Froda's strong as hell, a fantastic puller, but I think with Coach Ray's activeness and being able to have matches and national championships and whatnot, I think he's going to take this one as well. Now,
I still haven't staked. I have not put any money on Stake Kings on anybody.
Well,
I still haven't staked anybody.
What do you think of Stake Kings? I've put one bet on and cleaned up because I'm never going against John Brasink. So got good odds there. But what do you think of Stake Kings gambling now in the sport of arm wrestling?
I think it's great. I think Stake Kings is the first step. I think it's going to get bigger and bigger after that. I even think it'll eventually change maybe off Stake Kings and it'll become full-on gambling. I think things are moving in the right direction. I think we all have to become accustomed to it and what it means and stuff like that and how it's going to influence the sport. But money coming into arm wrestling is never a bad thing. Money does nothing but it does nothing but create opportunities, right? So eventually maybe Stake Kings has its own super match series where there's just a ridiculous amount of money being gambled. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what the future could hold when there's betting and gambling going on. So if we get it more legit and things are well-oiled and moving correctly, then I feel like that it's just the first step to big things coming because money will help the sport.
We need it to build. I mean, lot of only some of our elite of the elites are starting to make, a comfortable few dollars. But a lot of people to win $1,000, they have to work 9 hours a day. They have to support their family. They've got to spend wife time and children's time, then put in 3-4 hours of training. So now that it's building and now they have a super match and it's like, okay, well, you get a guaranteed 3,000 or whatever it is. And now everyone's building their YouTube channels, which I think is fantastic and getting money there. So I think this is just another avenue because it is such a male testosterone driven sport. I think there is zero chance of someone taking a dive. So like it's Derek Smith versus the Aussie arm wrestler. Fill the blocks in Stake Kings. There is no chance that like someone, I've got my money, I'm just gonna lose. Like that ego won't let any match fixing happen.
Or inside people betting on the match that are like referees and things like that, influencing it, right? That's something we have to watch. So as the matches get more closer, than like the promoters and the referees and stuff, it's going to be hard for them to be putting money down because it kind of skews the way they run the event or the way they ref it. So like in terms of, I know Dallas was worried about that with his match because those guys were all on the team with Craig Touye, and he was kind of worried, like, well, make sure they're not staking against me and all this stuff like that. And I think in the future, like, that's going to be something we have to watch, like who staked what and what's your involvement in the match. But I think inevitably, at some point, people are going to full on cheat. Some guy's going to take a dive at some point, and some ref is going to bet the house on some dude and help cheat for it. It's going to happen. But I'm wondering what the consequences are. What's going to happen after that? After we clean it up a little bit. Well, so we'll see.
Yeah, it just has to be put in. It just has to be put in the contracts. It's okay. We've got Arm Wars reality checks. Awesome. Now, just letting you know, the 2 referees involved, you've got to sign a contract. Derek, Ryan, everyone, you guys have got to sign a contract. You cannot bet on the matches. If you're caught betting on the matches, you're banned from Arm Wars. If you're caught betting on the matches, you're banned for WAL for 2 years or something like that. I mean, there's always room for improvement. Now, one thing I want to get a bit of insight up before we play a game and finish up is for those that don't know, and this is how the Aussie arm wrestler kind of projected himself a bit more on the world scene. Gary Roberts from Arm TV did a wonderful, wonderful thing for this man. And on New Year's Eve last year, if you didn't know, Gary Roberts live streamed constantly, and he wasn't hopping off the live stream until he raised a particular amount of money to send this man off to Dubai to train with Larry Wheels. It was fantastic. I think he streamed for 26, 28 hours. And then I was able to jump on and meet everyone and have a chat. And people were like, oh, yeah, he's not a dick. He's all right. This guy goes all right. He's not too bad. He's just more than ready bang. He can actually hold a conversation. So it was a great launching pad for me. But I was very enticed of, and I put down a bit of money, and I don't want kudos for that, but anyone that's willing to help, and even back then I thought this was a fantastic idea. What were you thinking initially when Gary hit you up and went, this is my plan?
I mean, like, me and Gary go way back. Before he took that long break. I've known Gary for a long time, and there's video. I don't know where Gary has it, but there's definitely a video of the tournament I pulled Tom Nelson the first time. That tournament, I remember me and Gary talking, and he goes, "Oh wow, you're still in it." And I look at him, I go, "Gary, I'm in this for life. Whatever your level I'm at now, you see me, I'm gonna try to become number one. I'm in this for life." And he goes, "Yeah, sure," because everybody always quits, you know. But me and Gary, he's picked me up. We've gone on road trips together. I've known Gary. I worked on the website Arm TV with him for a while, and I mean, a lot of respect to Gary. I met his kids and wife, and I met all that stuff. And so going into this whole thing, Gary's resurgence into the sport, like we were just talking a lot. And I know he mentioned to me he wants to do something. He wanted to do something for somebody. He was mentioning that I want to help somebody do something. And he didn't say it was for me. And then sure enough, like I had told him we were talking about Larry Wheels, and that thing, and everybody kept going out to Larry and visit, and I was like, man, that'd be so cool. It's like a trip of a lifetime, this and that. And I mentioned that to him, and I was asleep one night, and I started getting phone calls, and people were like, hey, you seeing this? And I'm like, what? And I go online, and sure enough, Gary just went all Gary on me and went full deep dive on it, and was just trying to raise all this money and all for me. And I was just like, oh, what do you do? What do you do besides say thank you as much as you can and try not to waste the trip? And I just kept asking, what is there? I wanted a clear picture of what everybody wanted out of it, so I didn't let people down. And he just said, have a good time and get footage. And so that's what I did. I filmed every day. I made a bunch of videos of it, and I had a great time. And it was a trip of a lifetime, hanging out with Larry, and then I got to hang out with everybody. I mean, I went to Turkey after that. I got to hang out with Ingen and Levon and Natali and Hermes, and the whole thing. It was an awesome trip. Something I'll never forget. And I mean, it's all thanks to Gary being crazy, And so I owe that whole thing to Gary and the community and everybody like you and that donated and helped me get there. And there's not enough thank yous I can say for what happened. All I can do is say thank you and do the best I could. And
I think that's why everyone was willing to donate a few dollars and things like that, because just the way you're willing to help anyone out, and you just love talking arm wrestling and sharing the same stories over and over again, and everyone can see, and everyone says it in the comments, you're just such a lovable character. You're a big teddy bear that just definitely wouldn't eat Goldilocks' porridge. You would sit there and probably make an extra bowl and leave Goldilocks a note and going, thanks for leave a 5-star review on Goldilocks' Airbnb. You'd be that type of cuddly bear. But was there a stage throughout the chat where we're all worried about Gary's health when he gets on a bit of a rampage because he's a ledge. Were you worried about Gary's well-being during it? And the second one, were you worried at all that the money wouldn't be, the total amount wouldn't have been raised?
No, I mean, in regards to Gary's health, I would go on there and he was just barely hanging on. I think I went on 3 or 4 times. So I was I had work. I'd have my dog. I was I didn't know what was happening. I didn't set any time aside for this. So I would pop in as much as I could. And Gary was just melting away slowly and just coffee and just trying to stay awake. And, but everybody was in that chat. I think Devin was in that chat, Herman, Steve, everybody came into that thing at some point. It was talking for a while. And one day I need to go back and rewatch that, because I don't even know what people were saying. I was just going as much as I could and showing as much encouragement as I can. But honestly, even if Gary wouldn't have raised didn't hit his goal, by that time, I was going. If I had to sell my car, I would have covered, whatever had to happen, because I'm not going to take that amount of money and just sorry guys, or I wanted people to see their money go towards what they wanted it towards. So if I would have figured out a way. I would have figured out a way regardless. I would have had to. I was going.
It was a lot of fun, and I remember a fun story about that is it was New Year's Day already in Australia, and I was walking with my wife, and I did a super chat to get the ball rolling, and it was Neil, Gary, and Uncle John, and Uncle John was like, "Oh, I'm one of my favorite up and comers, the Aussie arm wrestler." Blah blah blah. So I sent him a message saying, "Mate, I love what you're doing, rah rah." And then as I was watching it and seeing the people that were coming on, I was getting annoyed. I was getting real annoyed. I was like, what do you mean they're getting invited? Why aren't I getting invited? Then Uncle John's like, oh, hey, man. Like, it was like I had my phone on loud and I was like with my poor wife, we're trying to enjoy, the first day of the year. And I was like, why am I getting, bloody hell. All right, that's it. Just focus on yourself. Build your channel, Jake. You'll be right. Blah, blah, blah. And then literally Uncle John's like, oh, man, do you want to jump on for a little bit? And then, Gary was impressed, and he keeps inviting me back. And I got to meet and have a chat with some people, including yourself. I got to have a chat with you and all that. So it was, it was a lot of fun. Initially, I was getting very, very angry, but the whole thing was fantastic, guys. I wish someone would make like a highlight reel of that 26, 28 hours, because it's Dude, fantastic. And then,
that would be a good video. Someone cycle through that and get some of the best moments. I think I fell asleep on stream like 3 times. I'm trying to stay with you guys. I was nodding off, just trying to sit in there. But Gary did, dude. And Uncle John was in there like almost the whole time as well. Yeah. So I don't want to. I mean, I know it's Gary's brainchild, but Uncle John has always been a big supporter of mine. Love Uncle John to death. That's my boy. And thank you to him too. I mean, thank you to everyone. But
no, it was amazing. All right, mate. When anyone comes on the show, I love to play a game. I'm going to give you the name of 3 pullers, and you have to decide which one you're going to pin, which one you're going to lose to, and which one you're going to say you are not allowed to arm wrestle anymore in 2021. So you've got
so they can't. I say that they can't arm wrestle anymore in 2021.
That's right. You got to pin one, lose to one, and get rid of one.
Oh man. Okay.
And it's your battleground opponents. It's Ryan Espy, Chance Shaw, Alex Kadecha. Which one are you going to beat? Which one are you going to lose to? And which one are you going to tell that Battleground is now a 3-way dance? See you later. Don't bother packing your bags.
Okay, man. That is rough. Okay, first, we'll preface this. These guys are awesome. But
while you think about it, I want everyone in the chat also to play this game. I want everyone in the chat to play this game. It's pin one, lose one, get rid of one. Ryan Espy, Chance Shaw, Alex Kadecha.
Okay, so I plan to beat all these guys. We'll put that out there. But if I have to lose to one in the name of the game, if I have to lose to one, Ryan Espy.
Ooh.
I lose to Ryan.
Oh.
I beat. I beat Alex. And Chance has to take a break. He has to sit the rest of the year out.
Oh, you've just told one of the hottest properties in arm wrestling, your friend that you were just playing video games with before you jumped on the street. You just said, mate, you're not allowed to arm wrestle.
He's getting too many wins and making too many videos. He has to take a break, all right, for a little bit. Well, let me catch up a little bit in some of the wins and let me get out there a little bit. He's going too far, too fast, too hard.
I'll tell you what, I reckon you two doing a weekly stream on Twitch playing video games, I think that'd be hilarious.
We were literally just playing right before this started. I took my headphones off and called you.
Yeah, I was wondering why. Yeah, you were taking too long to respond. But there it is, guys. He's pitting the big Ryan Espy, that big massive walrus.
No. I'm pitting Alex.
No, you're pinning out the Polish sausage. You're pinning the Polish sausage, and you're paying respects to Ryan Espy by taking a dive. And then you've just told your mate, don't worry about it. It's time for you to have a rest and give everyone else a go on the internet. Wow. Breaking news, Derek Smith hates Chance Shaw. Bum, bum, bum. You heard it here first. Everyone screenshot that and send it out to anyone. All right, I'm going to ask you some questions. Quick fire, no thinking.
No thinking.
You got to answer it. Do you prefer super matches or tournaments?
Super matches are the future.
Yeah, they are the future. Are you a fan of the King's move?
Oh, that's such a deep question. All in all, no. All things considered, no.
Oh, yeah. Who would win in an arm wrestle, Mario or Sonic?
Sonic flashes him.
I don't like you anymore. I'm a Mario guy. What's your favorite game of all time?
Halo 2.
Halo 2. Who's your toughest opponent?
That I faced or that in the world?
Toughest opponent that you faced.
Toughest opponent that I faced. Me and Tony Thompson have had a ton of wars. That's my boy. It's local, so we see each other a lot, and we've gone back and forth a lot. So I'll say Tony Thompson, top of my head.
Most annoying arm wrestler that you've been with.
Most annoying arm wrestler. Annoying. Ryan Bowen clouds at my feed. That's my boy. Clouds at my feed too much. But in person, like competing against, annoying. Oh shit! I don't. A guy named Steve Inzalaco out here used to scream too much, and he said some crazy stuff.
What's the one thing you hate most about arm wrestling?
The way people see it that aren't arm wrestlers, and the way they view it, and the information they don't have, and how afraid they are of breaking their arm. Just the general view from the public.
Oh, don't get me started. Oh, all the time. Oh, you do that arm wrestling, do you, Jake? Yeah, I couldn't do it. I'd be afraid that I'd break my arm. But hang on, you play Australian rules football where we literally run 20, 30 Ks at each other, collide with each other. I've had a dislocated shoulder and a broken nose in the same quarter in that sport. People are doing ACLs, PCLs, dislocated fingers all the time. I've got bad fingers, and you're worried about breaking an arm. Okay.
So my favorite one is when people, you mention arm wrestling, and then they give you their whole health history, their whole background. Back in '92, I dislocated a shoulder, and in '04, I bumped my elbow pretty hard. And, they tell you the whole background of their life, history and stuff. Man, come on. You're just scared to lose.
You're being a bitch. And the last one, would you rather win an NBA championship or the hammer? The WAL hammer?
Well, right now, the WAL hammer.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, previous to arm wrestling, I would say an NBA championship. That'd be badass crying, kissing the thing, and champagne all over me. But no, I mean, right now, obviously, where I'm at, WL Hammer for sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, now we had a better stream on this one, a crappy stream, but we will wrap it up. Two things you got to do before we wrap it up. I will have you on the show anytime you want, Derek. I'll get you to nominate someone who you think would have a fun time on the show, if anyone comes to mind. And then after that, I want to hear your best impression of arm wrestling's greatest catchphrase, Ready Bang!
Okay, I got you. So nomination. Ooh, man, that came off out of nowhere. You've already, someone that hasn't been getting a ton of airtime, but I think deserves it and should be getting a little more clout, getting themselves out there a little bit more, that are great to talk to. I'm interested in Brandon Allen getting more clout and getting out there.
Yeah, he's just got a super match coming up. He's a big, strong guy.
Yeah, he does. And Brandon's a good buddy of mine. And I know he's trying to make waves in it and make a splash. And his whole contrast with him and Larry Wheels is really interesting, and how long he's been in the sport and how strong of a guy he is and where he's going. I'd love to see Brandon out there a little bit more, getting some more face time, and people that really understand who he is and where he's coming from. So I'll like Brandon Allen. That's my guy.
I think Devin just did a bit of a chat with Brandon. So go check. I'll check that out as well. I see Brandon on Instagram, and he looks like quite the character. Strong dude as well.
Yeah, no, he's great. And then okay, let's get into this. Okay. Ready, bang!
Yes! Absolutely nails it. Guys, of course, a big thank you for Derek Smith, especially after our slow start. He's come on, and we've come home with a wet sail. We've been wanting to do this for a while, but things on my end, the timing wasn't, and then he went off and did another Aussie show, which really bothered me a lot. No, it didn't. Go subscribe to Andy and Mario. I train with Andy. I love those two guys. But a quick fun story before we wrap it up. I literally had an alarm on my phone that day to message Derek to get him on the show, and I think about an hour beforehand, you messaged me and he's like, hey man, we haven't set up a time, and these guys over here have asked me to come on the show, so I just wanted to say sorry.
Well, Well, yeah, I know we were trying to set this up. And
No, it was fine. I'm a huge fan of Andy and Mario and try and help them out as much as I can. So once you've pinned Derek Smith's subscribe button and pinned the Aussie Arm Wrestler subscribe button, go give the Andy and Mario show a bit of love as well. But Derek, man, I know you're busy. You've been real busy lately, so I really appreciate you taking your time. You can go back and play a bit of video games and apologise to Chance that you don't want him to. But, man, thank you so much for your time. It's something that I've been, with anyone that comes on the show, I'm always very, very grateful because in the arm wrestling world, people are coming on my show and having a laugh, but, you guys don't ask for anything. Everyone seems to enjoy themselves. So it's, something that I'm always, always grateful for. I'm grateful for everyone in the comments giving me a ready bang and asking all these questions to you about you and things like that. So, very, very grateful.
Well, thank you for having me, man. Like you coming up and channels like yours, guys. I'm so big on the sport growing, and I think it's great what you're doing. Your format, I love the Ready Bang. I love the angle that you're working with all this stuff. I think it's really fantastic. You have a ton of enthusiasm. I think you're a really funny guy. I really appreciate you having me on here. Been wanting to come on, but big believer in what you're doing, and if there's any way I can help out, of course. Do nothing but ask, and I'm there for you.
Yeah, beautiful. And then you'll share this stream on your YouTube channel, and then we're firing. Get all your 6,000 on there. Guys, that's it from the Aussie Arm Wrestler. I'll have more commentaries, and as we all know, I live stream this time every week. Everyone give Big Derek a shout-out for coming on, and we will all see you next time.
See you guys later.